Hi everyone, and my name is Darlene Jimenez, and I own a company called Leading Results, where we help people build amazing websites and generate leads. Today, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about personal brand building. What are the things that you need to build a great personal brand, and what are some tips that you can use that are actionable and you can start using right away? I got you covered. So, today we're going to be talking about brand building, as I just mentioned, and the very first tip that you want to keep in mind is that in order to build a great brand, you have to be authentic. You have to bring authenticity to the table because people can spot a fake from many, many miles away. One great example of authenticity and being true to your personality is when you compare the brands of Gary Vee and Jenna Kutcher. If you haven't heard of Gary Vee, he's a very, very popular media guru, if you will, and he does great marketing. He has a very famous brand that a lot of people are familiar with, and one of the things that is very indicative of his brand is that he curses a lot, right? Nothing wrong with cursing. However, I think it's a very big part of his style. He uses a lot of curse words, very authentic, very realistic. And then you have someone like Jenna Kutcher that has a more polished brand, I would say. She doesn't use curse words, but she still provides great value. Either brand that you're looking at, they're very authentic to themselves. One is a little bit more calm, one is a little bit more intense, has that New Jersey fire when you're talking about Gary Vee. So whatever your brand is that you're trying to create, you want to make sure that it follows suits with your actual personality. If you are trying to build a brand, it has to resonate with people like you or people that you're trying to talk to. And if your personality is not to curse or is not mellow, then you don't want to go with that style because it's going to feel forced and inauthentic. That's tip number uno. Tip number two when building a great personal brand is consistency. I can't tell you the number of people that I've run into that claim that they want to build a brand, but they have absolutely no discipline to create content consistently. Unfortunately, in the social media age that we live in, attention is in very short supply. So you want to make sure that you're constantly putting out things that people are going to see, that are going to enable them to engage with your brand, get valuable information, and see what you're all about. Instead of blogging once a week, maybe you need to try blogging 3 to 4 times a week, taking that content and turning it into different forms of content so that people can engage with it in different platforms. For our business, we actually use all type of platforms, from podcasting, so things like Spotify and iTunes, to social media. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, on all the major social media platforms. And then we take a lot of our content and we turn it into blog posts, we turn it into quotes, we turn it into stories that we can then reuse. So whatever you're doing, you want to proliferate it across many different platforms, distribute it as much as possible, and that's just going to give you a big boost to get people engaging with your content and getting to know your brand. Also, along the lines of consistency, something you want to keep in mind is you have to have a consistent tone of voice, right? So you can't say something super professional one day, then the next day go to something that's completely relaxed. You kind of want to pick the style that you want to stick to, and do that consistently with all of your messaging. And it's just going to make sure that your brand has a very unified look, and that also goes for things like colors. So keep that in mind. Tip number 3 is making sure that you're providing value. Why should someone follow you on social media? Is your content inspirational? Is your content really informative? Is it content about the latest information on technology? Whatever it is, there should be a why people should follow you. Why do you follow some of the people that you follow? It's important for you to sit down, write it down, and figure out what is the value that you're bringing, and then make sure that all the content that you create actually follows with that plan of providing value to the people. Another good tip is, if you're not sure about the value that you want to bring, look up some of the favorite people that you follow and why you follow them, and especially if they do something similar to what you're trying to do, and that's going to give you an idea of the kind of content that you should be creating. You can also check out their engagement. So if you see posts that are similar to what you want to bring to the table, and those have a lot of engagement, that gives you an idea to what people want to listen to and hear, and you're on your way to creating content that's actually going to be successful. Tip number 4, your brand should not be transactional. What do I mean by transactional? Oftentimes you have people that are creating a brand because they want to sell stuff. And while I understand that we're all trying to make a little bit of money, cha-ching, we also need to make sure that our brands don't feel too transactional. If you're always pushing the sale, if you're always pushing the product that you're trying to get out there, then you might run into a wall where people don't want to hear your message anymore because they're tired of being sold on. They're literally bombarded every single day with thousands and thousands of ads from this company and the other company, and you don't want to become another person that does the same thing. What I like to do is keep a balance. Make sure that you keep your content educational and entertaining, not entertainful, that's not a word. And as long as you keep your content informational and entertaining, you can always throw in a sell every couple of posts and people won't be so daunted by it. But it has to feel like an interaction and a relationship rather than a transaction. One thing that Gary Vee says, he's one of my favorite marketing gurus, and what he says is you want to provide value, and then on that kind of fourth hook. So he calls it jab, 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 hook. You don't want to just be hooking all the time and asking people to give you their money right away, right? So if you're providing value consistently, people will trust you and people are more likely to purchase your products. So it's a no-brainer. Provide value and the sale will come later. Next, we have tip number 5, and that is don't get stuck just thinking about the brand that you want to build. Go out and do it. You have to take action. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we get so caught up in the message, we get so caught up on what is the target audience and what is the brand image that I want to create, that we end up falling into a cycle of just thinking, and putting absolutely nothing out there. Unfortunately, that's not going to work into today's world. You have to be able to action as quickly as possible, put things out there, see how people react to it, and then go ahead and modify it and tweak it to make sure that it's having the desired end result. Unfortunately, if you focus on just thinking about it, your competition is gonna take the lead and get you out of the way. And by the time you get done with the brand that you're wanting to build, in theory, you'll realize that the times have changed and that brand no longer resonates. So take action right away. One quick tip that I can give you about taking action right away is pick one topic that you want to talk about and then do that very consistently. So right now, for example, I'm working on this video, which is a topic on brand building. I have a whole plan of all the different things that I'm going to do to distribute this type of content. And I'm going to take one piece of content and turn it into 10 different pieces of content. At the end of the day, what matters is taking action, putting things in front of people, and then tweaking the messages necessary to drive engagement and results. That's all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this content, and make sure you subscribe, smash the subscribe button below, and turn on the little notification bell so that you get notified every time we post content, which we will be doing on a regular basis. We're going to be posting once a week at least. And also don't forget that we have a podcast, which is like linked to down below. We also have all of our social media platforms linked down below. You're going to want to follow us. We have some juicy stuff coming. Okay. Bye. Darling out.